Imagine walking into an art gallery and suddenly realizing the artwork isn't hidden, censored, or controversial. It's completely normal. In Denmark, nude art exhibitions don't shock anyone. Tourists often stand there confused, wondering how an entire culture can treat the human body with such calm acceptance. But here's the surprising truth. This isn't about nudity at all. It's about a philosophy of freedom that most of the world doesn't understand. And once you see it through Danish eyes, you might never look at art the same way again. Paintings show figures in repose, figures in movement, figures in thought, skin rendered in soft oils. For some, there is a moment of surprise, a slight widening of the eyes, a quick, almost unconscious glance at a companion. A young couple leans in and whispers, a small smile plays on their lips. They have traveled from places where such depictions are rare, perhaps even forbidden. But here, there is no shock or scandal, only a profound sense of peace. Local Danes move through the space with a familiar, comfortable gaze, as if looking at portraits of old friends or landscapes of a beloved countryside. This initial moment of contrast is where our story begins. Why is it that in Denmark, and indeed across much of Scandinavia, the depiction of the human body in art is met with such a serene and thoughtful attitude? The answer is not simple, but it is gentle. It is rooted in a deep and abiding respect for nature and a view that sees the human being as an integral part of that natural world. Trees in the forest, the water in the sea, the sky overhead. In this way of thinking, the body is not something to be hidden or feared. This perspective allows the body to become a form of language in art. An artist, when choosing to depict a nude figure, is not necessarily trying to provoke or to titillate. More often, they are using the purest form of human expression to communicate complex ideas and emotions. Without the distraction of clothing, which can signal status, profession, a specific era, the body itself can speak of universal themes: vulnerability, strength, joy, sorrow, love, loneliness. It becomes a canvas for the human condition, stripped down to its most essential and honest state. Think of it this way. A landscape painting can tell us about the power of nature. A still life can make us contemplate the beauty of everyday objects, and a painting or sculpture of a human figure can tell us something profound about what it means to be alive. The curve of a back might speak of weariness or grace. The tension in a hand might convey anxiety or determination. In Denmark, this language is widely understood and appreciated. This comfort with the human form is not a uniquely modern or Scandinavian invention. It has deep roots that stretch far back into the history of Western art. If we journey back in time to ancient Greece, we find a civilization that celebrated the body with an enthusiasm and skill that still inspires us today. The Greeks saw the idealized human form as a reflection of divine perfection. Their gods, their goddesses, their athletes were immortalized in marble. For them, nudity was a symbol of heroism, purity, civic virtue. As centuries passed and Europe moved into the Renaissance, artists rediscovered the classical ideals of Greece and Rome. Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci. They studied human anatomy with scientific rigor. They used the nude figure to tell the grand stories of their time, biblical narratives of creation, temptation, mythological tales of gods, mythological tales of mortals. The body was a powerful vehicle for storytelling, expressing the full range of human drama, the agony of a saint, the tender love of a mother for her child. However, this tradition was not always a straight and easy path. Over time, societal norms shifted. Religious and moral codes often placed restrictions on what artists could show. In some eras, the nude was pushed into the private collections of wealthy patrons, hidden away from the public eye. In others, it was viewed with suspicion and controversy. Yet, the artistic impulse to explore the human form never truly vanished. Artists continued to find ways to study and represent the body, driven by a desire to capture truth and explore our shared humanity. This long and winding history forms the backdrop for what we see in a Danish gallery today. The art on display is part of a continuous conversation across millennia. The Danish calmness is not an absence of history, but a mature and settled understanding of it. They have inherited this long tradition and integrated it into their cultural fabric, choosing honesty, naturalness, expressive power. The nude figure is not a novelty. It is a classic theme, revisited with a uniquely Scandinavian tranquility. The art says nothing provocative. It simply exists, worthy of contemplation, a vessel of stories, a natural part of the world. It's a silent invitation to look deeper, past the initial reaction, and to wonder why this place feels different. In this quiet room, you begin to understand the difference is more than what hangs on the walls. It is the very air the people breathe, the history that shaped their thoughts, the values they hold dear. The calm that permeates the gallery reflects a culture that learned to see the human body not as an object of shame, not as an object of desire, but as a simple, beautiful truth. As visitors continue their slow walk, some begin to feel that calm settle over them, a quiet unfolding of a new way of seeing. To truly understand Denmark's relationship with nude art, we must look beyond the gallery walls and into the everyday life and philosophy of the people. In Scandinavia, there is a powerful cultural connection to the outdoors, friluftsliv, open-air living. This is more than a hobby. It is a way of life that emphasizes a deep, almost spiritual bond with nature. People spend time hiking in forests, swimming in lakes, swimming in the sea, and simply being outside year-round. This immersion fosters a sense of being part of something larger. That closeness extends to seeing the human body as a natural entity. If a tree is not shameful, if a rock is not shameful, if an animal is not shameful, then why should the human body be? It's woven into life from a young age. Public pools often have communal changing rooms. Saunas are a normal part of social life. Nudity becomes practical, ordinary. Everyday exposure demystifies the body, removing taboo and sensationalism. It becomes familiar, normal, simply human. This mindset provides fertile ground for artists. When Danish artists depict nude figures, they are rarely rebelling. They are reflecting a cultural norm. Another important piece of the puzzle lies in the social structure of Denmark itself. Danish society is known for its strong emphasis on equality and a relatively low level of social distance. This is a culture where people tend to stand closer when they speak, where titles are used less frequently, and where the Prime Minister might be seen cycling to work. This sense of egalitarianism, this idea that everyone is fundamentally on the same level, reduces the barriers and formalities that can create awkwardness and distance between people. This social closeness fosters a more relaxed and open attitude in many areas of life. This feeling of equality translates into how the body is perceived. When society emphasizes shared humanity over status and hierarchy, it becomes easier to see the body as a common denominator, the one thing we all share, regardless of our background or position in life. This perspective helps to neutralize the charge that nudity can carry in more hierarchical or socially stratified cultures. It's not about looking up at an idealized form or down at a debased one. It's about looking across at a fellow human being. This creates a foundation of mutual respect that underpins many social interactions. An artist creating a nude work is not just an artist. They are also a member of this egalitarian society. Their work often reflects this worldview. The figures in their art may not be depicted as flawless gods or goddesses, but as real, relatable people. You might see paintings of bodies that are old, young, thin or heavy. The art celebrates this diversity, finding beauty and meaning in the authenticity of the human form with all its wonderful imperfections. The goal is not to present an impossible ideal, but to find the humanity in the real. When visitors from other parts of the world step into a Danish gallery, they bring their own cultural baggage with them. For someone from a more conservative society, the sheer volume and frankness of the nude art can be genuinely startling. The initial reaction is often a mix of fascination and unease. You might see them taking photos with a sense of capturing something exotic or daring. They might whisper among themselves, their voices a mixture of surprise, nervous laughter. For a moment, the art is not seen for its form or meaning, but simply for its nakedness. However, something interesting often happens in the calm and quiet space of the gallery. The environment itself begins to work its gentle magic. The serene atmosphere, the respectful demeanor of the local visitors, the thoughtful curation of the art, all combine to create a space for contemplation. A friendly gallery guide might approach a group of tourists, not to scold them, but to talk with them. They will explain the history of a piece, the artist's intention, the cultural context in which it was created. They speak with a calm, open kindness that invites questions rather than shutting them down. This gentle guidance can be transformative. As the visitors listen, their perspective can begin to shift. They start to look past the initial shock of the nudity and begin to see the art itself. The Danish appreciation for the human form is not confined to the silent halls of history or the static beauty of painting and sculpture. It is a living, breathing part of the contemporary art scene. Today's artists in Denmark continue to explore the body, but they do so using a vast and innovative range of media. Performance art, in particular, has become a powerful medium for this exploration. In a performance piece, the artist uses their own body or the bodies of others as the primary tool for expression. The stage becomes a space for asking urgent questions about society, identity, and our physical existence. These performances can take many forms. Some are quiet and meditative, involving slow, deliberate movements that explore the body's relationship to space and time. Most visitors think this is shocking, but the real reason is something deeper. Others can be more dynamic and confrontational. In these pieces, the body, sometimes clothed, sometimes not, is not just a subject to be looked at. It is an active agent of meaning, a living sculpture in motion. Beyond performance, modern exhibitions often incorporate photography, video, and digital media to present the human form in new and thought-provoking ways. A video installation might loop a simple, repetitive gesture, turning it into a mesmerizing visual poem. A series of photographs might document the changes in a body over many years, telling a story about aging and memory. These artists are not just repeating the traditions of the past. They are actively using new technologies to expand the language of the body and to ask questions relevant to our modern lives. What does it mean to have a body in a digital age? How do we relate to our physical selves in a world of virtual realities? Many visitors, even those who have grown accustomed to the classical nudes, still find this modern work challenging. This is shocking, they might say, confronted with the raw immediacy of a live performance or a stark photographic series. And it's true that this art is meant to provoke thought and feeling. But the shock is rarely for its own sake. The deeper reason for this art is to jolt us out of our complacency, to make us look at the familiar, our own bodies, in an entirely new light. It is a continuation of the same fundamental quest to use the human form to understand what it means to be human. In the end, as the day fades and the gallery visitors begin to depart, they take more with them than just memories of art. They carry with them a quiet question, a new thought to ponder on their journey home. The Danish approach to the human body in art is not about a lack of rules or a desire to be provocative. It is, at its heart, about a profound commitment to freedom of expression, balanced by an equally profound sense of respect. It is the understanding that for art to be honest, it must be free to explore all facets of the human experience, and the body is one of its most essential subjects. This freedom is not a chaotic free-for-all. When we see a nude painting or a quiet performance in a place like Denmark, we are being invited to see the body not as a source of controversy, but as a vessel of meaning, a testament to the enduring, complex, beautiful nature of being human. And in that quiet invitation lies a profound lesson about freedom and respect.